The fall of Trump BRICS crushes the US economy with a massive blow. Donald Trump's economic policies have just triggered a financial earthquake. The BRICS nations have delivered a brutal counterstrike against Washington's aggressive tariffs, igniting a global economic shift that could mark the end of US financial dominance. With nearly 47% of the world's GDP now aligned against Trump's trade war, the consequences for the American economy are devastating. Will the US dollar survive this unprecedented retaliation? Or is Washington about to witness its worst financial crisis in history? In this video, we'll break down the shocking economic war between the BRICS nations and the United States. You'll discover how China, Russia, India, Brazil, and South Africa have banded together to dismantle Washington's financial stronghold, push for de-dollarization, and offer an alternative economic system that threatens US global supremacy. But that's not all. Trump's own allies, including key European nations, are now turning towards BRICS for economic stability, leaving the Republican leader scrambling for solutions. Stay with us as we expose the hidden details of this economic confrontation, the potential collapse of the US dollar, and what it means for the future of global trade. Let's dive in. Donald Trump's aggressive tariff policies have backfired spectacularly, triggering a wave of economic resistance from the BRICS alliance. The financial retaliation from the world's emerging economies has not only shaken Washington but also accelerated a global push for de-dollarization. This economic standoff, which began as a series of trade restrictions, has now evolved into a full-scale battle for financial independence, with the BRICS nations at the forefront of reshaping the global economic order. The impact of Trump's policies was immediate. China and Mexico, two of the primary targets of his tariffs, have strengthened their ties with BRICS, reinforcing their position as major contributors to the development of emerging economies. The push to integrate Mexico into the BRICS economic framework has sent shockwaves through Washington, threatening to dismantle the USMCA, formerly NAFTA, and leaving the United States in an increasingly isolated position. The US now faces an economic reality it never anticipated, a counterweight to its trade dominance that controls nearly half of the global GDP. BRICS nations have also extended their influence to European countries struggling under US economic pressure. The European Union, particularly Spain, has sought economic security through alternative trade agreements with BRICS members. Trump's response? Threatening Europe with tariffs exceeding 100%, a move that has only accelerated their pivot toward BRICS-backed economic solutions. Meanwhile, Russia, under Putin's leadership, has continued to spearhead efforts to eliminate the dollar's dominance in international trade, promoting the use of local currencies for transactions between BRICS countries. But the most alarming development for Washington has been BRICS's commitment to a new financial system independent of US control. The alliance has made significant progress in establishing payment mechanisms that bypass the SWIFT system, enabling them to trade without relying on the dollar. This move is particularly significant for countries like India and Iran, which have already implemented alternative payment arrangements to counter Western financial restrictions. Trump's economic isolationism has also exposed deep divisions among his own allies. European leaders have openly criticized the US administration's handling of international trade, while financial analysts predict a severe downturn for the American economy. The imposition of tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods has further strained relations with key trading partners, weakening the very foundation of North American economic stability. The BRICS nations, meanwhile, continue to gain momentum. At the most recent summit in Brazil, South American leaders reaffirmed their commitment to economic collaboration free from US influence. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has been vocal about the necessity of creating financial independence for emerging economies, advocating for a common currency among BRICS members to challenge the dollar's supremacy. Even more concerning for Trump is BRICS's expansion strategy. With countries such as Iran, Argentina, and Saudi Arabia expressing interest in joining the alliance, the group's economic power is set to grow exponentially. This expansion threatens to reshape global markets, diminishing the influence of Western financial institutions and offering an alternative economic model to developing nations worldwide. Financial experts warn that the continued push for de-dollarization could lead to a significant decline in US economic power. The dominance of the dollar in international trade has long been a pillar of American financial stability, but as more countries shift towards alternative currencies, the value of the dollar faces increasing pressure. The potential long-term consequences could include inflation, increased borrowing costs, and a reduced ability for the US to enforce economic sanctions on adversarial nations. Trump's strategy of economic aggression has also fueled internal dissent within the US. The American business community has voiced concerns over the sustainability of his tariff policies, with major corporations warning of rising costs and declining exports. Meanwhile, domestic opposition to his economic agenda continues to grow, with critics arguing that his trade war tactics have done more harm than good. As the BRICS nations consolidate their economic influence, the question remains: can Washington adapt to this new financial reality, or is the era of US economic dominance coming to an end? One thing is certain: Trump's policies have set in motion a global economic shift that may prove irreversible. The global economic landscape is undergoing a historic transformation, and at the center of it all stands the conflict between the United States and the BRICS nations. What started as a series of trade disputes under Trump's administration has escalated into a full-fledged economic confrontation with repercussions that extend far beyond tariffs and trade agreements. The BRICS alliance has proven its resilience, countering US economic pressure with strategic financial initiatives designed to promote self-sufficiency among emerging economies. From bypassing the dollar in international trade to forging new trade agreements independent of Western influence, BRICS has positioned itself as a formidable force in the global financial order. This shift has not only weakened US economic leverage, but has also emboldened nations looking for alternatives to American dominance. For Trump, the fallout from his economic policies is undeniable. His aggressive stance has alienated allies, strengthened adversaries, and accelerated the decline of the US dollar's supremacy. With European nations and former US partners turning toward BRICS for stability, the once unshakable financial empire of Washington now stands on fragile ground. As the world watches this economic battle unfold, one thing is clear: the balance of power is shifting. Will the United States find a way to adapt, or is the era of its financial supremacy coming to an end? If you want to stay informed on the latest global economic developments, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Let us know in the comments what you think about this massive shift in power. Will BRICS succeed in ending US financial dominance? Share your thoughts below.